Reporting live from Rappers Club in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm Janaba. On Saturday, Dave Chappelle will surprise viewers with a new comedy special entitled The Unstoppable, which is a censored version of the full title within the special called The Unstoppable Nigga Act. For roughly over an hour, Chappelle would highlight current events intertwined with personal stories for an audience in DC. Specifically, he would discuss the backlash he would receive for performing in Saudi Arabia, Charlie Kirk shooting, and more in the surprise special. Now, when it came down to his response to performing in Saudi Arabia, he would push back on people criticizing him like political commentator Bill Maher, in which he would go on to directly say, F Bill Maher, a part of questioning why was it wrong for him to perform in Saudi Arabia after a journalist was allegedly killed when Israel has reportedly also killed journalists. Towards the later part of the performance, Chappelle would begin weaving in the title of this special with Sean P. Diddy Combs' latest imprisonment. According to Chappelle, the same Mann Act that was used to stop legendary boxer Jack Johnson is coincidentally the same act that was used against Diddy, in which Chappelle has labeled it the Unstoppable Nigga Act. The Mann Act, which interesting enough was originally called the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, looked to put an end to the sexual enslavement of white women. The law specifically forbade transporting a woman across state lines for immoral purposes. According to History.com, in 1912, prosecutors got their chance to enforce the Mann Act when Lucille Cameron's mother accused Jack Johnson of kidnapping her daughter and transporting her across state lines. Though Johnson was in a consensual relationship with Cameron and would soon marry her, prosecutors used the accusation as a pretext. As Chicago police arrested him for kidnapping, federal prosecutors assembled a grand jury to investigate his relationships with white women. Now, they would end up dropping the case after Cameron would refuse to testify against Johnson, only to find a prostitute Johnson had a past relationship with to testify against him, in which would lead him to a prison sentence of 1 year and a day that he would later serve after fleeing the country. In his new special, Chappelle would boldly further comment on Diddy's imprisonment by pointing out a conspiracy that looks to further connect Combs to Johnson's targeted arrest.
It's something about food delivery drivers that make them feel that as long as they got their hazards on, they can park wherever they want. I can't be the only one who feels like this. I mean, do they think about the risks they create for other drivers? Anything can happen. Like, when I'm on my way to record my weekly DJ show on Hypers Club Radio, imagine a delivery driver in front of me hitting their hazards out of nowhere. Now, I may be able to hit the brakes in enough time, but what about the person driving behind me? And now my car is damaged all over a ramen order. Luckily, however, if something like that were to happen, I know to call Morgan & Morgan. You've seen that ads before, right? You would think it'd be a long process working with them, but I found out when you hire them, it's like having your own team to back you up. Especially if an accident wasn't your fault, like the scenario I just shared. You deserve to be paid. They have recovered over $25 billion for over 500,000 clients. So guess what? If something like this were to happen, you can get a settlement or a verdict that can get you back outside and ready for the next place you need to be. So if you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera.
According to Chappelle, back in the 90s, when he was younger, he was tipped off by neighborhood OGs about the FBI surveillancing parties, a part of the rise of hip-hop, with the use of special lights during these parties, in which Chappelle would further add that a special hip-hop task force by the NYPD was created to specifically monitor Diddy and the Notorious B.I.G. With that, he would go on to say that they had to have known about Diddy's alleged crimes for a while now, since they've been monitoring him for 30 years. Why is it that this nigga has been under surveillance for at least 30 years, and just now they notice he racketeers and beats up bitches? I bet you, if he was doing all that, I bet you they've seen him doing it for a long time now. But why now? It was strange. No one called the police except for Kid Cudi. Now, Chappelle would not excuse Diddy's actions, but would later reveal a time when he was invited to a party to celebrate the late Nipsey Hussle's Grammy nomination that had the likes of Jay-Z, Snoop, T.I., and Diddy. He would notice the same FBI surveillance lights at that particular party, which appears to be his way of doubling down that enforcement has been watching Diddy for quite some time, and even alluded to conspiracies of Nipsey's killing. So why was Diddy arrested now? In this country, black people have had to fight for freedom, and for a few fortunate black people who have acquired both fame and fortune, freedom has come within their grasp. But according to some, the system doesn't want them too free, and just like Johnson, that freedom can be taken away if they get too powerful or uncontrollable. Chappelle would end his special by telling the audience that they have to be aware that he too could end up being stopped or compromised. My voice has become more powerful than I intended. And before closing the show, he will make one last Israel joke to end the night. Chappelle's Unstoppable special marks his sixth special with the streaming giant, who coincidentally just released a documentary on Diddy from 50 Cent, capturing some of the things Diddy has been accused of over the years before his recent imprisonment. Diddy currently sits in prison serving his sentence of 4 years and 2 months. So let's talk about it more in the comments below. Do you think there's more to Diddy's arrest? And do you agree with Chappelle? Why now? Stay up to date for the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. And if you enjoy content like this, check out hypersclub.com to get a membership to watch full interviews and more original content. And of course, if you have a story that you think we should cover, send us a message now at hypealerts.com. Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm John Abba.